Years back, I have shared a few keyboard shortcuts and everybody was amazed. Now I'm sharing these keyboard shortcuts again and I want you to check each of these shortcuts and tell me which one you like the most. And make sure to grab your free ebook at the end of this video. So now let's get started. All right, so in the first keyboard shortcut, I'm going to show you how you can activate Excel's inbuilt user form. So here I have few headings. And first of all, before I activate this user form, I need to convert these headings into an empty Excel table. So for this, I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut Control T. And mind you, this is not the keyboard shortcut that I want to show you. This is just to convert these headings into an empty Excel table. So what I'll do, I'll click on my table has headers. I have pressed Control T and then my table has headers and then click OK. Now my table is ready. Now what I'll do, I'll press the keyboard shortcut Alt D O. And here I have my inbuilt data entry user form. So what happens when you press this keyboard shortcut key and you have these headings, this user form will automatically take all the headings here and allows you to enter values here. So let me show you how this user form works. So my data is ready to enter as a first entry. So what I'll do, I'll simply click on new and my data is entered in my table. So you need to press Alt D O. But before that, you need to convert your data into an Excel table. All right, so the second keyboard shortcut is to insert a chart. So all you need to do is select the data and then press Alt and F1. And the moment I press this keyboard shortcut, it inserts a new chart using this data which I have selected. Now here's the twist. Let's say if you don't use column chart, or you don't use bar chart much, or you use line chart more than any other chart, you can do one thing. You go to insert and then you click on this small downward arrow, and from there you can go to all charts and then click on line. Let's say if line is the chart that you use more frequently, you just right click on it and say set as default chart, and then you just need to close it, come back, select your data again, and then press the keyboard shortcut Alt F1 and it will insert the line chart. So idea is to use the keyboard shortcut Alt plus F1, but you can change the default chart just by going to all charts and right click and set as default chart. Let me show you again. Even you can go to recommended charts and from there click on all charts, and from here you can select any chart to set as default, and then you can press the keyboard shortcut Alt F1 to insert that chart using the selected data. And in the third keyboard shortcut, I'm going to show you how you can activate full screen mode in Excel. So you just need to press Alt VU and it will activate the full screen mode for you. And if you want to hide your ribbon, you can use the keyboard shortcut Control and F1, or you can also use it again to unhide the ribbon. So it's basically expanding and collapsing your ribbon. You can use it the way you want. And you can also use this small drop down from the right side of a window to go to full screen mode or only show tabs. All right, so now let's say you have some data and you want to present this data to your boss, but you don't have time to waste on formatting. So in that case, you can use this option called auto format. All you need to do is press Alt OA and it will open the auto format option, and you can choose from some quick formatting, predefined formatting. So let's say if I want to go with this one, I just need to click on here and click OK, and it will apply a quick formatting to my data. And when you open auto format, it has this button called options, and you can choose what kind of formatting you want to apply and what kind of formatting that you don't want to apply. You want to skip. So it has 6 different formattings that it applies with each predefined auto format, but you can choose that which one you want to skip and which one you want to apply. So the keyboard shortcut is Alt OA. Now when you press this keyboard shortcut Alt plus B, it allows you to change the name of the workbook right away from your workbook itself. So what happens is when you want to rename a file, you need to close that file and go to that particular folder and then rename it from there. But when you use this keyboard shortcut, it gives you this small pop-up at top of your window, and then you can rename your file and simply hit enter to save it. And you can see here my new name, the new name for this workbook is there, and it will change, everywhere. The only thing is your file needs to be in the OneDrive. So if you're using Excel 365, you can use this option and save a lot of time. This particular keyboard shortcut has changed the way I use Excel. Now what happens is when you press this keyboard shortcut Alt and Q, it activates the search bar at the top of your title bar. With the search bar, you can search for an option and use that option. Let's say you want to create a pivot table. So instead of going to insert and then click on pivot table, or even when you use a keyboard shortcut, you can simply type here pivot and then click on pivot table and hit enter, and it will open the create pivot table dialog box for you. So these days, I'm telling you very honestly, I'm using this search bar a lot than any other thing. So I can search for anything, even if you want to create a pivot table, or even if you want to create a simple chart, you can simply press Alt Q and then search for that particular option and use it right away. Now this keyboard shortcut is really crazy. When you press Alt and then 3 times B, it opens this select data source dialog box. Now, on my desktop, I have this file where I have a small data table and I want to export that particular data table into my current workbook. So I'll select this file and click open. And then it shows me this list of all the worksheets, and the data worksheet is where I have my data. So I'll select the worksheet and then I will click OK. And then I'll select where I want to export my table, the new table, and then click OK. And here I have my data table right away in my current workbook. So you need to press the keyboard shortcut Alt D, 3 times D, and you will be able to export data from any workbook or from any worksheet from a workbook. And if you're not using this keyboard shortcut, make sure to start using it from today onwards. So here I want to add total here for each column and total here for each row. So what I'll do, I'll select this entire row and this column from here, and then I'm going to press Alt and equals, and it will add totals just in 1 second. If you quickly want to rename your worksheet, you can simply use the keyboard shortcut Alt HOR, and it will allow you to edit the name, and then you can change the name to the new name and then hit enter. And make sure that when you change the name of the worksheet, you cannot undo it. You need to rename it to the old one. So you can use this keyboard shortcut Alt HOR to rename your worksheet. Now here I have this data in a single column where I have all the details combined with a comma. So what I want here, I want to have all these details but in different columns. So what I'll do, I'll enter the first entry here, and then I'm going to use flash fill with the keyboard shortcut Control E, and it gives me all the entries for that particular column, and it gives me all the entries in the below cells. And for name, I'm going to enter the first name, and then again I'm going to use Control E. And for department, again the first entry and then Control E to get rest of the entries. And again Control E, and for salary, Control E. And this is how you can extract your data using flash fill. Hey, thanks for watching this video, and you can download your free ebook that I have promised from the link in the description. And make sure to subscribe to the channel because I'll be coming out with a lot of cool Excel tips and tricks in coming weeks. So make sure to subscribe and like this video.